Hi, I'm Sarah. And we're going to talk about the BB23 live feeds. First night, first day. Let's get into it. Casey, I'm here for you. I don't know why I put myself through it, but I love it because I love it. Stay up all night, jump up the next day in a panic. It's always funny in the beginning of the season. Everyone in the house, they're getting to know each other. They're building their relationships. So they're like, talking all through the night, up in the morning, talk. And I'm just like, oh my God, all conversations. And then later in the season, I'll wake up and they'll be like, nothing happening. And I'm like, oh, they're still sleeping. End of the season, whole different shebang. They don't talk. There's less of them in the house. But right now, we got to figure out who the heck these people are, how they're going to play, who they're going to play with. I enjoyed last night's episode, too. If you haven't watched yet, David and I recapped the episode last night. You guys, my mic's not plugged in. What is happening? Oh my God, I'm too excited. I didn't plug my mic in. Glad you guys could still hear me. But does it sound better now? How about now? How does it sound now? Yay! Like I was saying, if you haven't watched yet, David and I recapped last night's premiere episode last night. So please check out that video so you can get all about that episode. Good. Much better now. So my mouse and my mic plug in the same thing. So I'm always using my mouse and plug in my mic last minute. And then sometimes I forget and I just think I'm talking into my mouse, but I can't talk into my mouse. That helps nobody. Let's dive into these live feeds. Frenchie is doing the most, y'all. Frenchie is our HOH. So we'll start with him. Turn it up. Everyone's favorite song from last night's feeds, turn it up. We're gonna party something. I've already blocked it out. It's over. It's gone. We're no longer turning it up. We are turning it down. No, we're still turning it up. Let's start with Frenchie, our HOH. Yes, good point. I should also clarify the feeds have been down for roughly 4.5 hours-ish, I believe. Quite a while. Pretty sure they're doing the wild card comp. Feeds went down for like a brief bit, came back, and they were talking about which player should play the wild card comp. So then the feeds went back down. It's been hours. Pretty sure that's what they're doing. Not sure why it's taking so long. But we do know that 3 people, 1 person from each of the non-safe teams is going to play in this competition. And then the winner is going to get another one of these offers. Gosh, I hope it's better than double weeks of safety or no safety. Who's going to take that? Who's going to take that? Maybe a recruit, maybe a Travis. I don't know. But certainly not a Frenchie. So I'm hoping the offer is a little bit better to whoever wins this wild card comp. So we might actually get to see someone, go for something. There have been 3. What did I just tweet? There have been 12 earthquakes above a 3 in California in like the last 3 hours. I have not felt a 1, but that's a lot. And I'm going to try not to think about it too much because I am right down the road from those BB hamsters. They haven't felt it yet. I haven't felt it yet. Our area is okay. But maybe one is coming soon. Ooh. Yikes. So that's the wild card competition that's happening right now, hoping that's a better offer that they get. Let's start with our boy Frenchie. our HOH. Now, Frenchie is an alleged super fan. He has been active in BB Twitter for years. And he came into this game. He's applied several, I don't know exactly how many times, but he's applied several times. He has tried hard to get into this house. He's finally there. He came in with a plan. And boy, you could tell he's been shaping this plan for years. And he gets in the house. He's the first HOH. And he's like, I will not put up a woman. I will not put up a person of color. I hate when the minorities get targeted first. I hate when the jock bros get together and dominate a season. I want them out. He had all of these preconceived ideas when he came into the house, and he went gung-ho into it. The downside is he told just about everybody this plan. He revealed he's a talker. Frenchie's a talker. And so everyone besides Travis and Brent and Christian, those are the three that would fall, just on appearances. Those are the three that would fall into his not safe categories. He talked to everybody else except them, and he told them everything. He said, I'm a showman's killer. Don't get into showmance. I'm going to split you up. He said, I want the bros out. He revealed his whole gameplay over and over and over again with everyone. And I was like, oh boy, Frenchie, love where you're coming from, but you got to hold up. You got to listen just a little bit. You got to stop talking just a little bit and listen to the other people. And I don't know, actually get to know the other people and find out who exactly is the bros. That's also, I feel like that's important because it evolves, you guys. So lots of conversations last night, and we'll circle back to the other people's dynamics, but sticking to Mr. Frenchie French, he this morning continued talking and telling a lot of people the same thing, but he very clearly made a final two with Whitney. Whitney seems to be his closest person that he wants to work with, and explained to her the same thing he explained to a lot of people, but that he wants a large alliance. He wants to build a large alliance called the Slaughterhouse. And he wants to have a small core group of that, like 3 or 4 people, called the Butchers. And now this was revealed because he said that before he even got in the house. This has been talked about on Twitter, other podcasters. He already told everyone he was going to name his alliance the Slaughterhouse, and the Butchers would be his core real group. And he did it. He has already started that. Do I like those names? Absolutely not. I'm a vegetarian. I'm dairy-free pescatarian. But he's a farmer, so I get it. I mean, it's not going to be what I want to be in. He's saying it to everyone, and they're kind of like, oh, Slaughterhouse. I'd be like, backing out of the room, Slaughterhouse? What? The Butchers? Ooh. He's pulling a little Memphis. Memphis also came in with his names all picked out. Frenchie's taking a little note out of Memphis's book. So after he tells Whitney all about his Slaughterhouse Butchers thing, they agree that Xavier would be their third in the Butchers, their small core group. And they did bring him in. They had that conversation. And he has also, in his telling just about everything to everyone, that not just specifically that he wants to go after the alpha male jocks, very specifically Brent. Brent is the name that he has said He said it last night. He said this morning to Whitney and Xavier. He said it again to Brittany. He said he didn't give Brittany, well, he gave her all the spiel about the slaughterhouse and everything. But Brittany thinks that their group, the Jokers, their team, is going to be the Butchers. That's what she was saying. He did not 100% agree to that, but he was like, yeah, slaughterhouse, Butchers, looping her in, but not making promises to her. Hi, Faye. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Good to see you again. Hope you're well and happy Big Brother season 2, ya. Getting it all going, you guys. So that is the beginnings. We hear Brent is the name. He's the target. Frenchie said, I saw 5 girls with googly eyes looking at Brent like they wanted to have a showmance with him. And he don't like that. Frenchie didn't like it. He doesn't like Brent. Brent's his target. He's also talking about backdooring Brent. I'm like, okay, still, you're doing the most, Frenchie, the most. Why are we doing a backdoor in the first week? But we're not, you guys, because this is what happens. Frenchie goes to grab Brent, needs to talk to Brent. And Frenchie starts the conversation with like I don't know, did I do something to offend you last night, man? What's going on, man? What happened? And Brent was like, I know that I was probably a little standoffish last night, but you had this emotional moment. Hi, Chantel. When you saw, like, he walked into the HOH room and he like immediately started to cry looking at his family photos. And so Brent was like, I really felt like, you were having this emotional moment. And what was important was your connection with your family. And all these other people are being fake and like forcing a connection with you. And Brent's like, that's not genuine, man. He's like, I want to just give you that space, step back, let you have that emotional moment, and then organically build a relationship with you. And then Brent said, because I understand, I've been there. My dad died from suicide, and just not having him, but like having that note and having that moment with the note. And like Frenchie changed into a different human being. He jumped up. He gave Brent a hug. They had a whole bonding moment. And then Frenchie apologized for judging Brent. And he was like, man, I judged you wrong. I prejudged you. You came in and I just assumed you were a hard ass. His words, not mine. He said, I just assumed that about you. And that's exactly what I hate, that people prejudge me and think that I'm just a country redneck. And I don't like that. And I don't want people to prejudge me, but I did it to you. And Brent soaked it up and said, yeah, man, we're going to get along just fine. We're going to have great times. Who do you think your target is? All of a sudden, Frenchie's like, I don't know about that Christian guy. What do you know about Christian? Boom! Brent's off the table. He's no longer the target. Frenchie's got singing a whole new tune towards Brent. And I think Christian and Travis are in trouble. That's where we are with that interesting move. I don't know how observant Brent really is. I don't know if he is that intuitive and was like, I really got to work an emotional angle with Frenchie, but it was exactly the right move. I was like, hello, Brent. Don't know much about you, but what you just did was solid gameplay. Yeah, appealed to Frenchie's emotional side, and it saved your booty. Kylan, thank you for the super chat. Giving a lot of people some 16 Devin vibes for sure. I think that there's a lot of great qualities about Frenchie, and I also think he is messing up his game already. And you know what? I'm here for that hot mess. I love it. I love when people do too much and it backfires. So Frenchie might get out some alpha males for us right here at the top. And then you know what? The women can take Frenchie out. And I'm going to be just fine with that. I'm going to be A-okay if that's the way it goes. He can mess up his game here in the beginning, or maybe he'll save it. Maybe he'll see that he needs to zip it up and not say as much. Who knows? So that's where we are with the targets. So let's back it up a little bit. Why is it Christian and Travis? They're the other obvious, just by judging, they're the obvious alpha male bros that Frenchie doesn't like. And like I said, he's not going to put a woman up and he's not going to put a person of color up. He has made those promises to everyone. Again, maybe he shouldn't say that to everybody. I don't know. Feels like all I have to do is next week use all that information against you. But hey, I'm not in the house. So that's fine. Whatever you want to do, you made it in the house. You play how you want to play. Let's talk about Derek X. Let's decide who these bros are, because I was surprised to see Brent not hanging out with Travis last night. That's me prejudging. It was Christian and Travis that looked like a duo, and it was Derek X and Kyland that were hanging out a lot, looking like a duo. And Brent, literally, I was like, where Brent would just like wander in and out by himself, did not seem to be connecting with anyone right away, couldn't really tell what was happening with Brent. But so we had these two sets of duos talking, and then so separately together, then the four of them talking, and they really bonded over their mutual dislike for Whitney. Whitney seemed to be the name last night that people were willing to say, oh, what's this Whitney girl? What's this about? Thank you, Jolene. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for subscribing. What? Whitney was the one that people were like, what do you think about Whitney? Derek X was like, she's a little standoffish. She was a hot mess when we were trying to do the competition together. Like, she didn't know what to do. Didn't really like playing with her. Christian and Travis were like, she straight up said she was going to backdoor a big target. Like, she's already talking big game. Like, I got to keep my eye on her. I'm worried about her. Not a big fan of Whitney, right? These four were bonding over that. Separately, Derek F, also not a fan of Whitney. We'll circle back to Derek F because that boy, social game on point. So this morning, though, Kyland had some one-on-one time with Frenchie, the HOH. And Kyland did a great job of just like not giving a lot of information, sort of fishing until Frenchie revealed his whole slaughterhouse, go after the bros. Like, then once it was out, Kyland, I think he made a little judgment of like, oh, all right, maybe I need to jump ship with my Derek X and my bros because they're about to be a target. And Kyland spilled vital information to Frenchie that Derek X and Christian were talking about Whitney as a potential target. He said Whitney's name came up as a potential target, and it came from, he said, Christian, Travis, and Derek X. Those names were there. Again, Brent wasn't a part of that conversation. So Kyland threw him under the bus. He did it. He did it to align with Frenchie. And I'm not sure that the cute little duo we had last night of Kyland and Derek X is going to is going to last. I think Kylan might have taken a turn and said, not going to the bro side with you, Mr. Derek X. And I'm going to stick over here with Frenchie, the side that's in power. Because Frenchie did reveal that Whitney is someone he really, really likes. He didn't say final two, but you guys, Frenchie and Whitney have a final two. Brittany was on the feeds all day until the feeds went down. No reason to remove Brittany. She's playing the game. She's playing the game so much that she mentioned to Frenchie, she's worried about Hannah. That was the only name that she mentioned. She said, Hannah knows the game. She's like, I like the game. I've watched the game. Frenchie has also revealed to everybody that he's a super fan and that he knows everything about the game inside and out. And Hannah, I've never seen so many people admit that they know this game so well. People are usually so like, oh, I think I've watched a season. This year, they're all like, I know all the seasons. You want to talk about all the seasons? How far can you go back? I'll talk about all the seasons. Like Oz's done it. Hannah's done it. Alyssa's done it. They've all done it. Frenchie's done it. They're all talking about it. But Brittany did say to Frenchie, Hannah knows too much. She knows this game too well, and I'm worried about her. But it was a short conversation because Frenchie was like, we shouldn't talk too long. You know, he ushered her out, not making any actual promises to Brittany other than she's safe because she is on his Joker's team and he is making the Jokers feel like they are, you know, a group, that they are working together. No way. No way. Hannah actually, I thought Hannah handled it really well. I mean, she wasn't there for this conversation, but there was a conversation with Hannah, Alyssa, and Brittany, which I think this is what Brittany was referring to, where they were talking about all these different shows or seasons of Big Brother. And Brent did make a comment. He was like, whoa, you're a super fan to Hannah. And Hannah shut him down. And she was like, no, I'm not a super fan because I've never watched the feed. She was like, only super fans are the ones who watch the show and the feed. She's like, I've watched the show for years, but I've never watched the feeds. And Alyssa was like, oh, is that the definition of a super fan? Because I too have watched the show for years, but I've never watched the feeds. They did have that whole conversation. And I was like, you know what, Hannah? Thank you. Thank you. From me to you. Thank you. Right? Got a whole crew of us over here. We know what it's about. But I would always keep that on the down low. But again, Frenchie is like, let me reveal everything to everybody. But so is everybody else. So they seem okay with it. They're all going to be talking about how much they know this show. So that's the little info about sort of the Kylan, Derek X, Christian and Travis thing. And then like Brent is over here somewhere, not really with the bros. But that's how the sort of dudes are working out. Xavier is over with Frenchie. Derek F, literally with everyone. He took a time last night with every single person. Same thing with Tiffany. The two of them did a little rotation. They took one-on-one time with everyone and they said, how you feeling? How you doing? What you thinking? They connected. I was like, oh, all of these red things are just distracting me. All right. I don't listen to spoiler accounts, but if Jolene says it, then I'll post it. No, why would she be? I think people want her removed because of her brother, the situation with her brother. So that's how spoilers get started. But I would not get involved with that. I mean, BB rarely lets someone get removed a day after, especially if it is about her brother. It's not about her. It's nothing she did. So I would be very, very shocked. But we will report whatever Jolene says because we love Jolene. And she keeps an eye on the drama for us because I don't keep an eye on the drama. I just don't. I just can't. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people just want her removed, and that's what happens. Don't even get me started on the psych tests. They're not real psych tests. The psych test is, are you a follower? Do you make decisions? What kind of person are you? That's the psych test. So loving Derek F's social game, loving Tiffany's social game. Tiffany and Whitney talked a lot last night about being the two moms, and they wanted to make a trio alliance with Frenchie as the three parents, a little parents alliance. And Frenchie did walk up on this convo, and they brought it up briefly, but the convo got interrupted. So I thought it was interesting this morning when Frenchie just built the final two with Whitney, and Tiffany was not in sight. And then Tiffany was in sight. They didn't bring it up. And then Tiffany left, and then they talked more about it. So it doesn't seem like this parents thing is super important to Frenchie, but I do think it is to Tiffany. So I feel like the three will have an alliance, but how strong it is, that's another thing. You got to remember, this is day one, night one, day one. These alliances will fall apart. These are half real alliances. You know what I'm saying? All right, we talked about Whitney. People not digging her, but Frenchie does. I think this is going to build some really, really fun, juicy stuff. If the house is divided over Whitney, does she actually become a target? Do people protect her? Do they not? You know? Where I think I just missed a comment about Christie. Yeah, oh, here it is. So Christie tested positive, remember, for COVID. She was removed from the game. That's how we got Claire. Christie just posted on her social media that she tested again herself. She got herself tested, and she tested negative. So she is very upset, obviously, that she didn't get on the show and that she probably doesn't have COVID. She doesn't feel sick. She doesn't have any symptoms. Look, I'm no doctor. I don't know how it works. I have heard that false negatives happen all the time. I've heard that false positives have happened not as much. So honestly, if she's getting both, I don't know which one you would trust. But I personally believe that everything happens for a reason. I wish her the best. I feel like people love her and are now aware of her platform and what she stands for. And maybe that's all she needed. Maybe she don't need the crap of Big Brother, because by the end of this, people might hate her. And right now we all love her. So maybe that's all she needed, and she can go on a better reality show or something even better. That's my hope for her. That's my wish for her. I know she's upset, and I do feel for her. I don't think they could require a vaccination from, I don't know specifically about Big Brother, but from what I'm hearing from my friends who work in production, we're not able to require vaccination in general. But Christie said she was vaccinated. But that doesn't mean the PA that like brought her the food wasn't, I don't know. That person could have been sick and, ugh, it's a funky virus, and this whole thing is a mess. But the upside is we got Claire, and I love Claire. And Claire did great work last night. She was friends with everyone. There was a lot of nerd talk. You guys, I'm so into all the nerds on this cast. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they were talking about Disney. They were talking about Harry Potter. They were talking about things that I don't even know. They're so nerdy and it's so delicious. And those were the conversations we were hearing on the feeds last night. And how refreshing is that? How refreshing is that? They were like comparing, who was it? Chris Evans and who was the other? It was another Avenger. They were comparing the hotness of Avengers. I mean, this is good stuff, you guys. The only sports talk I heard was actually from Hannah. Hannah said something about Trubisky, who was the quarterback of the Bears. And I was like, oh, go Bears. Okay. I actually know the Bears. I know Chicago teams. What's up with that? You know? I'm a little disappointed that I have to call her Sarah Beth. I really got into just having a Sarah on the show, and now her name is changed to Sarah Beth. Oh, yeah, Tom Holland. That was the other one. Tom Holland or Chris Evans. And you know what? Honestly, both, just both. We don't need to compare. It's literally Nerdtainment. How happy are we? Azza is a queen. She's gorgeous. She had an interesting conversation with Kyland this morning after Kyland talked to Frenchie. So he kind of had intel that Brent was the target. Changed. But at that point, Brent was the target. So he was talking to Azza and saying, like, I don't know about Brent. What do you know about this Brent guy? Like, he seems like, I don't know. Can we trust him? Is he an ally or is he dangerous? And Azza, just in her glamorous way, was like, yeah, he's sleeping in the bed next to me. I've gotten to know him really well. He has a lot of great qualities. And I was like, girl, you just exude wonderfulness. I don't know if you're lying or if you really like him and want to be aligned with Brent. I don't know, but you're beautiful and you speak so well. And I just want to watch you. So Oz's going to be fine. Everyone wants to work with her. She definitely spoke with Hannah and Claire a lot last night. Seems like those three, Ozza, Hannah, and Claire, might be a good little trio. They're aware of this slaughterhouse thing, and it's so confusing on who actually is in the slaughterhouse. The joke on Twitter is people are like, here's a photo of everyone in the slaughterhouse, and it's just a photo of the whole cast. Like, literally, the only people I think who don't know about the slaughterhouse are Brent, Travis, and Christian. I think everybody else does. Could never backfire. Everyone knowing your information. Perfectly normal and fine. Who else haven't I talked about? Tiffany, great super social game. She's in with everybody. Derek F. in with everyone. He did talk about Whitney, though. He was talking to Xavier and Azza. And he was like, Xavier made a joke of like, I wonder who's going to snap this season. And Derek F was like, oh, I know who it's going to be. He was like, Whitney, okay, you saw it, right? So I don't know what he was alluding to, but Whitney has given off a vibe to several people in the house that she's going to snap, that she's standoffish. Several people don't really want to work with her yet. Again, Frenchie wants to be final two with her. So like, why they're the ones who put out her name first. Like, they could have written Sarah Beth. What did someone like? Was that a typo? Did someone mess it up? Like, what happened? I don't know. Her voice doesn't bother me, but it's the first day. We'll see. I mean, there are definitely some people's voices who, you just can only listen to for so long. Whitney's going to snap. She's going to snap. They called it. Who else are we missing? Oh, speaking of Whitney, though, I do think she has a crush on Brent. This is another thing I think is funny. Because, like, Whitney is in with Tiffany and Xavier and Frenchie for sure. And then, a few people who aren't sure about her, but she's definitely in with some people. But she definitely is like flirty with Brent. And Frenchie said he's specifically going to break up showmances. So what will happen if Frenchie's number one ally gets into a showmance? He will lose his mind. He will not know what to do. Frenchie made every term that would mean anything to us. He made sure he said it in the first 5 hours that the feeds were on. He was like, I will not eat watermelon. I do not like these people. I do like these people. Like, he said everything he possibly could. He'd been saving it up for years, and he said them all last night in the first 5 hours. Also, Alyssa was sick. She was puking when the feeds came on. She was stuck in the bathroom for a really long time. Xavier sat with her for a really, really long time, and I wondered if he was like interested in her. But it seemed like as soon as someone else came in the bathroom, he allowed himself to be rescued and he left the room. She eventually, like after an hour or so, was feeling better and was able to get up and mingle and talk to other people. And I do believe Alyssa and Derek F made a little duo alliance because like I said, Derek F's like, how you doing with everybody? So he definitely was connecting with everyone, but his conversation with Alyssa was much more serious of like, girl, you're going to do this, I'm going to do this, and we're going to bring all the information together and we're going to work it out. Like, he was like, people love you. You're going to be able to infiltrate a lot of groups. You'll bring that info back to me. People are going to love me over here. I'm going to get the info and bring it back to you. Like, that seemed like they were actually crafting a potential duo between the two of them. But again, Derek F is in with a lot of people, but that one I was like, yeah, samesies. We'll see. She seems very, very sweet, but besides that conversation with Derek F, there wasn't any other like game convo. She did obviously she wasn't feeling well. So she was like, oh no, people are going to think, use this against me or whatever. The other thing about Christian is he seems like he's super unaware. He's very loud and talkative and will just get real loud and talkative in the middle of a room when people are like, oh, we were talking and now you're just like really loud. And like, so I think Christian is rubbing some people the wrong way just in those dynamics of like, oh, you're just unaware of what's going on and talking a lot. So that's a thing. And now that like Christian might be the target now that Brent has gotten the target off of his back, not sure that anyone's going to fight for him really in the house, except for Travis and Derek X, but like they don't have a lot of power at this point. So I am keeping an eye on the feeds. I will let you know when I get the alert that they're back. But they are still down, you guys. I think that they're just like they played the comp individually, and then I think that they're doing the offer. And if there was any sort of punishment that came along with it, like maybe they're getting that taken care of. Like maybe that's the whole why it's taking too long. These are my best guesses. That's my best guess over anyone being removed from the game. But you know me, I'm just over here being level-headed, not getting caught up in spoilers. Yeah, let's talk. Who else might have a final two? I saw Derek F and Alyssa maybe. Whitney and Frenchie. Those were the only ones that seemed like actual duo conversations, but I would guess that Christian and Travis have a final 2. They are soups tight. And I wonder if any of the girls, like Sarah definitely bonded with Azza. Azza, Hannah, Claire were definitely together a lot. Hannah did a lot of sitting back and kind of watching things. I thought was really interesting. She is not someone who like needs to no, I don't see the feeds on. Still not on. She's not someone who needs to be in the center of everything. And she's really observant. She and Azza also bonded. But gosh, again, Azza was just doing a great job of like bonding with everybody. Oh my God, I love your name, Mother Taryn. I am wife of Taryn. No. What was our name? You guys, what did we come up with? Was it Saran, like Saran wrap? Or was it Tara? Either one. Not great. My boyfriend, Taryn. He moved to San Diego, you guys, to be closer to me. Just kidding. Don't tell him I said any of this. Because I'm just going to keep stalking him from over here. So those are the pairs, duos, trios that I saw. And again, like Kylan and Derek X definitely had something last night, but today, not so sure about that. I don't think Kylan is going to hang with Derek X. Derek X is much more of a frat boy than we thought he was going to be. He was in the gym with Christian and Travis today. Throw it out. Of course he's in the chat. Of course he watches. Of course, you guys. You know it. Of course. So I'm very, very interested to see how this wild card comp plays out because Christian is playing. Oh, let's talk about who's playing. Christian's playing for his team. Kylan's playing for his team. And Hannah's playing for her team. And again, we don't know exactly how it works with the winner and what happens. But if Christian wins this and somehow gets himself safety, then I guess by default, Travis is the next one who moves up the list. It went Brent, Christian, Travis, I guess. I don't know. Derek X might be moving up into this list as well because now that Kylan passed on that information to Frenchie that Derek X is not a big fan of Whitney, I would have to imagine that that should make Frenchie's wheels spin a bit, and he should worry about Derek X if he wants to work so closely with Whitney. So noms are not going to happen until tomorrow. Today is the wild card competition. Noms will be on Fridays like they always are. And Saturday will be veto like it always is. And we'll fall into our somewhat normal schedule. So I will obviously be watching the feeds if they ever come back on. And hopefully we find out who won this wild card competition and who is actually going to be the threat. Like Frenchie wanted to backdoor originally. I don't think that's necessary, especially since you're running out of targets. He is really running out of targets, especially if Christian is all of a sudden safe. Because he can't put up his team, he can't put up any women, and he can't put up any people of color, apparently. These are his rules. And so that only leaves him a few guys left. And he is now besties with Brent. That's a strong word. Besties is a strong word. But he misjudged Brent. We might have all misjudged Brent. I mean, the fact that he can speak Italian, linguine, lasagna, tortellini, ravioli, gnocchi. Look, I can speak Italian too. Oh, Brent's also on my draft team. So I'm okay with him saving himself. He did a really, really good job of saving himself. And, but he's not really aligned with anybody. So he still has work ahead of him if he is going to stay. He's definitely a minority. He doesn't have a big group of people protecting him. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and talking it all out with me. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun stuff going on. I like getting to know the house guests, and I'm excited about them. Some people are playing really, really hard, doing the most. Some people are playing middle, like making sure they have game talks. And some people are just being lovely people like Azza, who are like friends with everyone. Tiffany's friends with everybody, having the time of her life. She's really entertaining. I think she's going to be fun feeds, and I hope she's like DR Gold. She is already super enjoyable on the feeds. I like her a lot. So you guys, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm also doing my best on Twitter to keep you guys updated at Sarah Big Brother. If you guys are on Twitter, follow. Let me know if you have questions. We'll talk about it here. Oh my gosh. Well, we're already better than last year. Although I have to say, like the first week of last year feeds were amazing. I didn't turn them off. They were on Janelle the whole time. I loved the first like week of feeds last week or last year. And then I was like, oh dear, what happened? Ugh. You know? Yeah. Smash that thumbs up, people. It really helps the channel. Thank you so much. It helped us get over 6,000 subscribers. You guys, I really appreciate it. You're the best. And for anyone who wasn't joining us live and is joining us later, please leave us a comment. Let us know how you're feeling about these feeds, who you're rooting for, all that jazz. You know what I'm saying? All right, you guys, have a wonderful night. We'll see you next time. Bye.